The Out of Bounds Show podcast is powered by the DeWalt tools at Ace Bolt and Screw. Visit acebolt.net for a location near you.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
Is now awarded.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
All right. Good morning. Welcome in to all you crazy people on Twitter and you just crazy people in your car, including True Maroon. Good morning. Good morning. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. We're the Out of Bounds Show, powered by Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. Award-winning The Azaleas and the Oaks, dancingrabbitgolf.com. Also powered by the Golden Moon Casino. Woo! What a sports book. Super cool. Food, beverage. Put a little money on the games. Have a good time with your buddies. Play a little golf. And then hit Philip M's Old Style Vegas Steakhouse. Boy, that area will be rocking this week with the Neshoba County Fair, won't it? I got invited to a party on Wednesday. What's today? Tuesday. Wednesday night. Don't think I'm going to be able to make it because I think we've got something here on Thursday that I have to be in studio, but I would have loved to have made it up. That party's in one of the rooms at the Golden Moon Casino. But we will be there several times this football season. Looking forward to that. We may be on the back patio of the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and the clubhouse that we love to hang out at. And then we may be, I know we will be, in the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. This is 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Blake Mania is with me. You can hit us up on the Mississippi Ag text line, 601-885-3776. 885-3776. And then our Twitter handle at Bo Bounds. Twitter handle at Bo Bounds, brought to you by RPT and Rick's Pro Truck. Number one truck Jeep accessory stores in Mississippi, ricksprotruck.com. And then the call-in line is 601-707-3750. Brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Hit favorites.com, F-A-V-E, favorites.com. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent in any of the 82 counties in Mississippi. Aaron Rodgers is going to play for the Green Bay Packers this year. Russell Wilson is going to play for the Seattle Seahawks. It does not look like Deshaun Watson will play for the Houston Texans. So you go 2 of 3 on the quarterback drama from 2021.
Boom. Can I start your day with a joke?
Sure.
All right. This would be a laugh on a Tito's Tuesday.
Hold on. It's a tantalizing Tuesday. And my question is, yesterday was supposed to be a max effort Monday. You didn't quite. What? If we ran the Oklahoma drill for 45 minutes.
What?
The last 5 minutes, because, see, coaches don't care about the first 40 minutes. They want to know what you are the last 5 minutes of the Oklahoma drill. And I thought
I was elite. But
I don't think so. But I want to know the joke.
I'll bring it up.
Okay.
All right. Someone said, given the fact that Texas hasn't won a Big 12 championship since 2009,
okay,
and teams like Baylor and TCU and Kansas State have,
right?
Maybe Texas should have been looking at the Sun Belt instead of the SEC for a new conference.
Ooh, so tasty and ironic.
Wow.
There you go. Little smirk joke for you on a tantalizing Tito's Tuesday.
Well, the joke is perfect for my lead because I didn't know that you were going to throw that out, and you didn't exactly know what the lead was, although you had an idea of the 3 or 4 topics that we were going to hit on today. So let me talk about that. Texas and Oklahoma are going to come to the SEC sooner than later. And how does that impact Ole Miss and Hail State? One, right? And what do they bring to the table? Well, one, we know that they bring big brand names, money, eyeballs. And you're talking about probably $600 million more per year in dollars. Per year. Not 1 year, per year. 600 million, right? Split what? 17 ways? 16 teams. And then the conference gets a big old chunk of it. And evidently they have been just stockpiling money, which was smart, the last decade or so. So what does it mean? I mean, we've talked about Texas and Oklahoma, and Blake just said, pointed out that Texas has not been that good in football. Now, Herman looked to be turning them around. I don't want to throw – is he a good football coach? He sure seems like it. It looked like he was turning the corner. It just wasn't quite enough for either the Board of Regents or some big-time alums or Chris Del Conte. I mean, he's the new AD. He's from TCU. He's very no-nonsense. He comes out of a program that is more lunch pail and blue-collar. Texas Longhorns like to tell you, they like to sell the Martini and Merlot crowd. I mean, yeah, they're about martinis and caviar, whereas TCU is about pork chops and cornbread and all that stuff and mashed potatoes with all kinds of gravy on it. Well, so what does that mean as far as when they officially join and they start to compete in this league? And what does it mean for Mississippi State and Ole Miss? Here's my opinion. It's not going to be more difficult. It's not. It's either there's three options here. It will be either slightly more difficult to win in football. I'm just talking football. We'll get into all the other stuff. And it's a good thing Hail State won a national championship in baseball, because I will get into that as far as I looked at some of that yesterday afternoon. All right. So what does it mean for Ole Miss and Mississippi State in football? You got three options. It will be slightly more difficult to win, it will be negligible, or it will be slightly less difficult to win. I'm leaning towards slightly less difficult.
Hot take.
It was not going to swing like we want in everything, one way or the other. Sorry. It's just not the way it works in most anything. We mostly live in this gray bubble, all right? And let me tell you about Ole Miss and Mississippi State. This is one thing that I know about both programs. And I know Mississippi State, which is very unusual considering the two teams, lost their toughness component, but they have it back. That was obvious by the last 5 games of the season last year, when they should have been dead man walking. 46 players, played more freshmen than anybody in the country. But let me tell you about Ole Miss and Mississippi State football. They are damn tough, because you don't have an option in this division that we play in. And just the fact that you are going to break away from playing Bama every year, just that. Yeah, but Bo, they could add the year they drop Bama. They could. I know. I'm aware. Just the fact that you will not play Bama every single year, and in fact, you playing Bama could be cut in half. I want you to think about that when you're having a ice cold Modelo late this afternoon for Taco Tuesday. All right, just the fact that you are not going to play Bama every year, to me, is a game changer. And that's why I shifted over to slightly less difficult. But I'm going to say this. These two teams already know how tough and brutal the run is. Texas and Oklahoma don't. They don't play physical football out there, and they don't play defense. So there will be an adjustment for Hook'em and Boomer Sooner. Now, is Oklahoma trending the right way under Alex Grinch, their defensive coordinator, who used to coach under Mike Leach? Yes. Do I believe that Sark understands the physicality, obviously, and toughness component, and the grit and the grind and all that? Yes, I do. But there will be a transition for those two teams, because it's all about chunks of games. When you play 4 top 20 recruiters in a row, and 2 of them are top 10. Big board coming up next.
Swoochy Boochie, good morning to you.
The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by Boar's Head, premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head, compromise elsewhere.
What's on the big board? What's on the big board?
Oh, my goodness. It's a Taco Tuesday. Brought to you by Modelo. Enjoy an ice-cold Modelo. With or without a lime. Late this afternoon. Please drink responsibly. Tacos are amazing. Like from Two Brothers Smoked Meats in Starkville. Tacos are amazing at home. Taco Tuesday. Brought to you by Modelo. Especial. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Out of Bounds. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. This is the Big Board. We'll say the Big Board's brought to you by Taco Tuesday. Presented by Modelo. Want to shout out to Kendall, who texted us over the weekend or something and said, I had no idea what Modelo was until y'all started promoting it, and now it is my beer of choice. You're a smart man. It is a delicious beer. Many of the restaurants around here you can kind of put 2 and 2 together. When you see certain beers on taps outside of the domestics, you realize that beer sells. That beer's good. And you'll see Modelo on taps throughout the Jackson metro area. If they don't have it on tap where you like to go, your local restaurant bar, request it. Taco Tuesday, brought to you by Modelo. This will be an interesting transition. Gardner Minshew is from here. Had an amazing career at Brandon High School. Bounced around, was a journeyman. Ended up with Mike Leach, wins 11 games at Washington State, parlays that into getting drafted in the NFL. He's made a ton of dough. $3 million the last few years? And probably more than that, actually. And so it's a great story, and he's down with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Jacksonville drafted Trevor Lawrence.
Who?
Out of Clemson, right? Number 1 in the draft, which means Trevor's going to start at some point. Well, most of you know a little bit about Gardner Minshew and kind of who he is and how he operates and the fact that he just wouldn't be denied. Sounds corny, I know. We eye roll at that. But there is something to it in every, facet of life. And his quote over the weekend, and we don't usually talk about bowel movements on this show, but his quote...
Fred Smoot does.
I'm sorry, outside of Fred Smoot...
It's just still one of the greatest stories
dropping a deuce on Dan Snyder, Dan Snyder's yacht. This is fantastic. On Dan Snyder's yacht, who is a billionaire owner of the Washington... When Smoot was there, they were the Washington Redskins, or now the Washington football team. But Minshew was on a podcast over the weekend talking about the competition between, again, Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence. And he said, in preparation for the competition, I haven't taken a blank in 2 weeks. Number 2 isn't an option for me. I love that guy.
Incredible quote.
It's just awesome. Let me read it one more time for you, because this will make your day. Going into work or the gym, or maybe you're going to pick up your grandkids, whatever you're doing. And we appreciate you listening to the show. And don't forget, you can stream us live on the Out of Bounds radio app. Gardner Minshew over the weekend, who will be competing against Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. That would be the Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson. And I quote, In preparation for the competition, I haven't taken a blank in 2 weeks. Number 2 isn't an option for me. Gardner Minshew on his competition with Trevor Lawrence.
Honestly,
for
that's
QB1.
That's a way to live. Just cut the first part off and just live your life by, I haven't taken a blank in 2 weeks. Number 2 isn't an option for me. I mean, I may get that tattooed somewhere on me.
You should.
That's a motto.
You should.
Motto to live by.
I'll video it while you're getting the tattoo. So, have you ever been in a tattoo parlor?
Yeah, I have 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they're because of my profestional
Uno,
job.
dos, tres?
I have them covered up. They're in spots that are covered up by a short. You can see just the tip of this one.
Did you
right
get
here.
the trifecta?
I have 3 right now. I have talked
Were
to
any of them connected to a cabaret?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I got them at 3 different parlors.
Were any of them connected to a gentleman's club?
No.
Okay.
No. They're all standalone businesses, and
Was
only
it here or other places?
2 were in town. 1 was on the coast.
Okay.
The best one I got was Twisted Anchor.
got in that dirty coast trash.
No, dude, Twisted Anchor down in Biloxi is an incredible shop.
Is it really?
Oh, they kill it.
I'm going to take your word for it.
That's my best tattoo is for Twisted Anchor.
Okay.
Without doubt.
All right.
But I'm trying to design one
is
right
your
now.
new nickname Trifecta?
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Steph Curry, baby.
Steph Curry's awesome.
Because I'm all about the
Okay,
threes.
don't even...
I'm awesome.
I love watching that guy play. Go ahead.
Yeah, people like to watch what we do. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no doubt.
Electric.
No doubt.
It's sports talk radio.
Well, there's already electricity on the show.
I will say I'm trying to figure out. I'm designing one. Did you see that Steve Robertson? He may have 1 or 2 more than me. Tattoos.
Yeah.
He got.
You think?
He got a national championship tattoo.
I saw that.
I am trying to design
Are you
one.
contemplating?
Oh, I was already planning on it. I just don't. I can't copy someone's stuff. I got to do my own thing.
Okay.
And so I'm not gonna like. I don't want just the generic M over S, and I don't want just like
I gotcha.
national. So I'm coming up with a design, but that's my next one.
And are you going to go... What was this place in Biloxi?
Twisted Anchor.
Twisted Anchor.
I'll probably go back there. Yeah.
Man, it would have been cool if they called it Twisted Ankle.
It's on the beach, so it's like a Twisted Anchors, like the nod.
All right, give me
nod to
where
the
it
sea.
is compared to the Hard Rock and Bow and Mary Mahoney's.
So it's not actually right on the water. It's back in the old part of Biloxi, like
I gotcha.
What you would call, I guess, the historical part of Biloxi, right?
Okay.
Where there's like a couple coffee shops and there's like some restaurants and stuff. It's on their little main street. It's a little blue building. And it's nice. It's a nice little they know what they're doing. It's a pro shop.
So they're not on meth.
No.
Okay.
Their
Good.
stuff is incredible. So
Good.
they that's probably where I'll go back, but that means I got to take a trip down to Biloxi.
Oh, okay.
Are we pitching anybody down there? Can I write that off? Can we make that a business trip?
It's where I meet the Tito's guys.
Let's go.
Half the time they meet me up here. Half the time they both work out in New Orleans.
Sounds like we got to
And
schedule
half
a
the
trip.
time they meet me down there at either Mary Mahoney's or the Bow.
Sounds like we got to schedule a trip.
We did the deal at BR Prime.
There you go.
Yeah, that was an iffy night. I wasn't sure I was going to get back to the hotel room, but
hello.
Those guys they got one speed. It's what you call, all right. Who's the fastest player in the NFL? Tyreek Hill.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, that's their speed.
Fair enough.
All the time.
Fair enough.
All right. SEC Insider Hit is coming up next. Do we have the Kessler Prime crew coming in later?
Yes, sir. 9:30.
Do we have any idea what they're doing, or do you?
Some type of cocktails with Tito's and Four Roses.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Speaking
of Tito's,
he wouldn't tell me what they were.
On purpose?
Yeah, it's Chris and Chris Robertson, who obviously runs the place.
Yeah.
Kevin, our favorite bartender, will be coming. I think it's just those 2 guys, but they're coming in.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
So you can watch that on Facebook. Search the Out of Bounds Show, or YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. We would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube page.
I'll probably give something away to somebody who's watching on YouTube or Facebook.
All right, let's give away a $50 gift certificate.
Hello.
To either Bravo. You can go to any of the 3 restaurants. It's only for the ones in Jackson. This does not include the Madison one. We'll figure that out, okay? So it's Bravo, Sal and Mookie's, Broad Street. We'll give away a $50 gift certificate. We'll tell you how you can win. And then we've got the SEC Insider Hit coming up next. Show is powered by Independent Roofing Systems, the #1 commercial roofer in the state of Mississippi since 1980. Their work, quality, speaks for itself. Roofing.ms. The show is powered by Independent Roofing Systems. Roofing.ms. Back in a second.
The Out of Bounds Show podcast is powered by Breezy Oaks Ranch. For Mississippi-raised premium Wagyu beef and heritage pork shipped straight to your door, visit breezyoaksranch.com.
Let's do it.
This is the SEC Insider Hit. And it's presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Well, it may be a Holy Mary Old Zab Tuesday. Good morning. Welcome in. The show is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. The official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Show is also powered by Independent Roofing Systems, #1 commercial roofing company in the state of Mississippi. #1 commercial roofing company in the state of Mississippi. Independent Roofing Systems. And show is also presented by Superior Foundation. For all your foundation repairs, superior.ms. Oklahoma and Texas, coming on over. Come on in and join the party. Oh, goodness. What are we doing? You know, like 1 minute I'm like, oh, man, I'm so fired up. The next minute I'm like, how's this going to look? You know, I do believe that it for the Ole Miss Rebels and the Mississippi State Bulldogs, I think it will be slightly less difficult because there's 3 options in this thing. And I'm talking football, not hoops, not baseball, and the Olympic sports. I can get into that, but maybe, maybe 10 minutes from now, maybe another show, maybe a little bit later in this show. We'll have Mike Detillier on the Modelo guest line at 8:30 today. Mike D, one of our most popular guests, will join us in an hour. Connected to the Mannings, the Saints, LSU, NFL. Mike D out of New Orleans, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. Mike Detillier at 8:30 on the Modelo guest line. It's a Taco Tuesday presented by Modelo. Here's the deal with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. There's 3 options. It's slightly more difficult with Oklahoma and Texas coming in. Negligible. Slightly less difficult. I think the fact that you're not playing Bama every year, I immediately move it into the column of slightly less difficult. Now, look, some years as an Ole Miss Rebel or a Mississippi State Bulldog, you're going to pull a brutal schedule. That's just how it is. Yeah. We're in the South. This is not – we all know there's no point in getting all surprised and huffy and puffy. I mean, there are going to be some years where you pull a just even more difficult schedule than what you normally pull. Okay. And then there will be years where the scheduling gods are good to you. And you'll run into one of what is considered one of the better teams in what? What will they be in? They'll be in the process of firing a coach, transition, not living up to their expectations. They won't have a good quarterback. I mean, you just got to take advantage of it. I mean, we know what happens here. And so I think this is money-wise, we already know. I think you'll be receiving well over 80, 90 million before you know it, and it'll be over 100, 110 million, in the blink of an eye per year, right? Per year before you get one donation for an alum or sell a seat, suite, or club-level seat. So that's – and I think that you'll be able to continue to give your Olympic sports everything they need. Women's soccer, men's golf, track and field, softball, volleyball, they're all wonderful sports. They are. Wendy and I ended up watching an hour of the volleyball Olympics over the weekend. Right? I mean, the U.S. ended up winning it. You kind of get in it when it's a close deal. It can make you kind of, I guess, get glued to the TV for 30, 45 minutes to an hour. These are all great sports. You're going to have money for days. Also, when you want a men's golf coach or a women's soccer coach,
You can pay them.
and they're at Texas Tech, NC State.
Is that Pac-12 member, Texas Tech?
Yeah. Wake Forest. A lot of schools, okay? You're going to be able to go, well, whatever's making X, and we can give you more. Plus, as Blake mentioned, what Tennessee did with Tony Vitello in baseball, it wasn't just that Tony Vitello got a raise. It's that they gave him a big, big budget pool of money, which we all want to go get more talent. We're always hunting talent, right? I mean, you want to always be big game hunting. You want to be hunting talent. You want to be developing your people. And you want more money and assets to go offer on the street. And Tony Vitello got a monster bump for his assistant coaching pool so that when you're in the market and you're battling against another team for a women's soccer coach or softball coach or men's golf coach, you can say, all right, here's the deal. We want to win here at Mississippi State or Ole Miss. We want to win across the board because our two programs are winning across the board like we've never, ever, ever, ever experienced. It's incredible. The athletes on campus, the talent in the coaching staffs, the resources are ridiculous.
We just had 2 national championships in the span of like 3 months. Golf and baseball, that's pretty wild.
That's incredible. It's hard to win. Incredible for the Ole Miss women's golf program. Incredible for the Hail State baseball program. But we've been winning in track and field and softball, and I mean, it's unbelievable. So my point is, you will have the ability to win across the board. And look, Blake Mania, Blake Scott's favorite coach, is now back in the SEC. Vic Schaefer will be joining the Southeastern Conference. Blake did this, okay? And the fact that there was some FOMO for Blake, and now that Vic Schaefer, the head women's basketball coach at Texas, will now be able to come back to Humphrey Coliseum.
I texted Vic. I said, what's it going to take to get you back? He said, well, Texas will have to join the SEC. I said, done deal, Vic. You don't want none. I am interested. That's totally side note. We don't have to get in this because I have some interesting questions for you about Oklahoma, Texas on the football side.
All right, drop what you're thinking right now, and then when we go with the questions, I want a little music.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
What I was thinking was...
and not that crap you played last week.
Yeah, I know. That was terrible.
That sounded like...
I didn't put that in the machine.
I don't
just
even
know. It's like Norwegian funk.
Yeah, I don't even know. It reminded me of a terrible sitcom in the 80s.
Yeah, it was awful.
Okay.
My question, what I think will be interesting to see is, given the vitriol for Dan Mullen, and
people don't like Dan Mullen in this state?
Yeah, right.
Hold on. The Mississippi Ag Tech, I'd like to get, since we're giving away a $50 gift certificate.
Let's just give it all away.
Okay. To Bravo Salad Mookie's or Broad Street today. We're giving it away through the cameras.
But we can give another one away.
All right, we'll do 2.
Do everything.
I've got Jeff Good's awesome. I've got a stack. So let's just. I want y'all to dive into some pasta or a panini sandwich or whatever, or a pizza. Mississippi Ag text line is 601-885-3776. Tell me if you dislike and why Dan Mullen. All right, go ahead. You had some thoughts.
Yeah, well, I'm just interested to see. Let's say this happens within the next 2 years.
Okay.
And it looks like there's going to be some expedition of this process.
Oh, I think the attorneys are going to duke it out, and it's going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah. So my thought is, I wonder what the return to the hump will be like for Vic Schaefer. Now, it'll be more passive because it's a gray hair crowd for the most part at women's basketball. But I wonder if you'll hear some boos or some vitriol towards Vic Schaefer.
Can I answer that question?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Knowing what you're talking about, the kind of
the crowd, who they are.
Yeah. Women are tough. And those over 60 and 70 women, they love them some women's hoops.
Dude, that's true. And they probably felt betrayed.
You mess with you kind of mess with the woman's kids type deal, that, you're going to get the wrath. And so I think Vic should be careful.
You're going to get the wrath. I love that.
Okay? So
that's fantastic.
Yeah. But now, I just want, are you going to ask for Vic Schaefer's autograph when he comes back to the hump?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You'll probably ask for Blair's over Vic's.
Ask for a phone number.
Hello. I'll give you our phone number. Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line. Not my personal, but this is the show. 601-707-3750. Brought to you by Favorites.com. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. All right, are you gonna get some music going, or do I need to do a couple of reads here?
You're good. Go ahead and do a read.
All right, let's go to the Mississippi Ag John Deere Tractor text line, and White Denzel, who's one of the best texters we have. I think he's talking about Mullen here, not Vic. I can't stand him. Appreciate what he did for State, but if he was on fire, I wouldn't use my own urine to put him out. Whoa. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show. White Denzel is coming in hot. Ashley on the Mississippi Ag text line. Can't stand him. He's like an Ole Miss fan acting like he's so above us. Be thankful for what we gave you. Would love to hear Dak's feelings towards him. Okay.
I don't think Dak would say anything bad about him.
He wouldn't. They're very, as you know, they're super close. But, I mean, Dak Prescott loves Mississippi State. That was obvious by his raw, emotional, authentic, genuine reactions and emotions and so on to Mississippi State baseball winning the national championship. Believe me, he could have been in Cabo during his, they don't have a lot of time off. He could have been in Cabo or any number of places. He was in Omaha, Nebraska, cheering his tail off. This is from True's one of the best, too. True Maroon, I can't stand Dan Mullen because he has no stones. He will be up by 10 on a team that's better than him. Then start making dumb decisions and give them the game. And his wife kisses everyone. Hashtag super spreader. Good grief. Mississippi Ag text. I didn't know we were going to go down this.
You asked.
I know.
This is what you wanted.
Dan Mullen makes the worst of the country club members seem like nice people. Oh, he's got a little Stetson Bennett the fourth in him. All right, so let's read this. Dan Mullen makes the worst of the country club members seem like nice people. I didn't realize how much I disliked Mullen until he went to Florida. Okay. Mullen lost me when he punted on Bama's 40 on the fourth quarter with a chance to win. Yeah, I absolutely ripped Dan Mullen for that on the show. Nobody else had the bells to do it, but we did. And I ripped him way more than we ever ripped Precious Pumpkin Pop Hugh Freeze after a game.
Hey, don't say that about friend of the show, Hugh Freeze.
No, I'm glad Hugh's come up. Look, his interviews do thousands and thousands of podcasts. I'm selfish. And I acknowledge that. What was I? Oh, Next Generation Reb. Oh, dislike we will never lose to this team again. Played on repeat in the vault for an hour. Love that. Get properly sized suits, Dan, and quit wearing tennis shoes.
All right, I don't care about the tennis shoes, but the suits. Why does he look like a 90s NBA star coming out of a game? I mean, what are we doing?
I don't know, but that is so fantastic.
It's terrible.
Oh, Ryan says we'll stay on the Mississippi Ag John Deere lawnmower text line. Y'all should give Mullen one of those gift cards, but tell him it's only valid at the Madison location. Oh, gosh.
That's such a petty thing. Like, that's something you only do if you truly hate someone. You see what I'm saying? Like,
as big of a blank bag as Freeze is, this is from Rebel Godfather. As big a blank bag as Freeze is, Dan Mullen is worse.
Also, speaking of worse, can you see that terrible graphic of pods?
That is so awesome.
Are you kidding me right there?
That's so awesome.
Does he believe that's a real thing?
Well, that's kind of what Ole Miss has been playing the last 80 years.
Let's verbalize what this is. It's a picture of the 4-pod system, and it's Texas, A&M, Oklahoma, and Arkansas are in one. Mississippi State has Auburn, Alabama, and LSU.
I love it.
Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina. And then who's Ole Miss got? Vandy, Kentucky, and
Oh
Missouri.
my gosh!
Is there a more one-sided situation than Ole Miss pulling the 3 worst recruiters? Let's bring it back to football. To 3 worst recruiters over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
In SEC play. Vanderbilt, Missouri, Kentucky. Vandy is a 51.9 composite since 2014.
Okay.
Missouri's a 38.3 composite.
Okay.
Since 2014. Kentucky's 31.8.
Wow.
They're the 3 worst recruiters. When it comes to win percentage, since 2014, same period, Vanderbilt is 119th in the FBS with a .325 win percentage.
Oh, goodness.
Surprisingly, since 2014, Missouri and Kentucky find themselves above Ole Miss in win percentage.
Really?
Ole Miss sits 67.
Even with the Sugar Bowl year?
524 win percentage over the last 8 years or 9 years. 14 to 21.
That's 7, but go ahead.
7, sure. Missouri's a 535. Kentucky's a 540 win percentage.
Well, they play in such an easier division. I mean, I guess even with the Sugar Bowl, really? That's still okay.
This is off the Athletic. So it brings me to this question to ask you to get back to Oklahoma, Texas.
Still doesn't sound right, but whatever.
I don't disagree.
Especially considering how much they won in 14. They went to the
15.
Peach Bowl, which is New Year's 6. And then how much they won in 15, they go to the Sugar Bowl, which was that still surprises.
Yeah.
They won like 19 games in 2 years. Or
Go
maybe
Matt
20.
Matt Luke, baby.
Hey, let me just tell you something. You can say what you want about Matt Luke. He left that program in good standing.
That's correct.
He left that program with some serious offensive line talent. He left that program with the toughness, culture component that you have to have. We talked about Paul Jackson for years. The one thing that they kept going was the strength and conditioning weight, because Hugh Freeze had hired Paul Jackson. Matt obviously kept him. Matt's love for Ole Miss. You can say what you want. I mean, Matt Luke's not a SEC head coach. I get it. But Matt Luke made sure that they still worked like crazy and had a brutal off-season conditioning program.
Physicality was there.
And they didn't lose their toughness and grit, whereas Mississippi State did. They've got it back, but you don't ever want to lose it, like you were talking about Texas.
Yep, absolutely. Texas has lost it for what feels like 15 years.
Right. Let me drop this real quick. Out of Bounds is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. The official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds show, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. All right, are you going to do the questions?
Yes. So, based on, I'm reading this great article on The Athletic, and it has to do with bringing in Oklahoma and UT, and it brings up this interesting point. We love to tier out our programs in any conference or the NFL or whatever, right? And so, my question to you is, when you tier out the SEC currently, and then you add in Oklahoma and Texas, where do Oklahoma and Texas fall in your tiers? Both currently and I guess what's their ceiling. So is Alabama alone? I think that's fair. And then under Alabama, Florida, Georgia, LSU?
Yes.
By themselves?
Yes.
Okay, do Oklahoma or Texas fall in that tier, or do they fall in the next one, which would be Auburn, Tennessee, A&M?
They fall in the next one.
So
but they have an opportunity to jump in tier 2.
Tier 2.
Literally, in like 1.3 seconds.
So you have them in tier 3. You feel like if they were to enter the league in the next 2 years, and then we could take a 4-year composite or 5-year composite.
I don't know. Texas is on the right track.
Yeah.
It's fun to beat up on them. Tom Herman was on the right track, and I believe Sark will take what he has done or what he accomplished and continue to build on it. But go ahead.
No, I think that's fair. I guess so. You feel like OU and Texas are more third tier,
right now.
State and Ole Miss are tier 4.
Yes.
That's the Arkansas, State, Ole Miss, South Carolina, depending on the year, whatever.
Right.
Maybe Kentucky, and then you have Vanderbilt down at the bottom. So I guess they have Oklahoma and Texas in tier 2, solid.
I could see that. I think it's going to be a rude awakening. I really do. I think they are. Let me throw this out to you, Blake.
Okay.
A&M is still adjusting. We're 10 years in, and A&M is still adjusting. Now, I understand that A&M's not Texas. Well,
is that the head coach, though?
Oklahoma.
I mean, you had Kevin
Texas,
Sumlin, who just did nothing.
I've always thought I've always thought A&M should actually win more, could win more than the other two because they're built more on pork chops and cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas is about martinis and, caviar and sushi. And Oklahoma has more of that, even though we've kind of labeled them in a different way as of late because they're so high-flying on offense.
Yeah.
They have more pork chop in them than Texas, okay? But A&M has never been able to figure – they're still adjusting to the physicality and the chunks of 3 or 4 games that you get playing in this league. They have been embarrassed time and time again. When you went into a weekend thinking they should not be embarrassed.
What was it, a couple years ago when Nick Fitzgerald and Mississippi State beat them at
they were top 5,
number 4, I think. Yeah.
And so they have been embarrassed.
Yeah.
Time and time again. When you thought, man, A&M, this matchup sure does look good for the Aggies this weekend.
It's a way of losing that we haven't seen LSU and Alabama when they're at their best, or even Florida when they're at their best do it. Like Florida and LSU have had down years where they've lost, but you didn't go into the game going, wow, they're such a heavy favorite. A&M
let
loses
me give you an
those
example.
games.
Hugh Freeze embarrassed Georgia and Kirby Smart.
Yep.
In Kirby Smart and Georgia's first year. Georgia was a top, at that time, 7 or 8 recruiter. Kirby's moved them into the top 3. Hugh Freeze in a year where they went 5-7. I want you to remember that. Hugh Freeze ran Georgia out of Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Okay? Dan Mullen embarrassed, let's see, in year 1, he embarrassed Ole Miss and Houston Nutt with a team that went 5-7 and didn't go to a bowl game. So A&M has been embarrassed time and time again. And let me tell you, Blake, Oklahoma and Texas will be embarrassed.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay? They will look up. There will be some fourth quarters. When they're in game 3 of playing a brutal stretch.
Their third straight top 10.
That's right. And they've got more shoulders and hips and knees and ankles banged up than they're used to. They're going to look up, and they're getting boat raced with 6 minutes left in the game somewhere in the South. And that team will continue to take their manhood all the way through 000 on the clock. This league is gross, brutal, and everything. And I'm just telling you, they are. Will they win? Do I think they'll eventually adjust and adapt? And of course, can they put themselves in position to have fun, amazing, great years? Yes. But Blake, they're going to get embarrassed.
If I give you $1,000 right now, which one makes the championship game first?
Texas.
Okay. See, I disagree. I think Oklahoma's set up to win it.
Well, I'll let you be wrong on radio and Twitter.
I've never been wrong on Twitter.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. You've never been wrong on Twitter. Except a couple years ago when you went up to Kentucky and we're talking, what?
Man. That was Joe Moorhead who was wrong, not me.
That was... No, was that Mullen or Moorhead?
No, that was Moorhead. I would have won that game 100%. Yeah. We went up there and remember Kentucky had
Moorhead made sure that Josh Allen was a first-round pick in the NFL.
Correct.
Yeah,
because Josh Allen had, I think, 2/3 of his sack totals in that one game.
That's right. And Moorhead never adjusted. That was amazing.
And it was one of the most incredible.
Emory Ballard, Sylvester Croom of him.
One of the most incredible things I've watched.
I am going to be incredibly hard-headed. I'm going to run what I run. No wiggle room.
Dude, and I don't think he put a tight end to Chip
I've never
once.
coached in my life, but Josh Allen's dominating your left. We're not doing anything. Nope. Even though Colin Hill weighs like 235 pounds as a tailback.
Incredible.
Not going to chip him. We're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Not going to slide a tight end over and just give him a little bit of.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's when I knew for sure that wasn't
Does
working
Josh Allen send Joe Moorhead $25,000 every Christmas?
At least a Christmas card.
Yeah.
Right? Thanks for the
job. Surely they've been to the Caribbean together on Josh Allen's tab. Hey, the show is brought to you by Independent Roofing System, the #1 commercial roofing company in the state of Mississippi. And their work speaks for itself since 1980. Roofing.ms, roofing.ms. The show is also presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. Steve Robertson coming up next.